What's up, this is GM, and before I start, I want to tell you about TubeBuddy. In case you don't know, TubeBuddy is a free website that will help you manage and grow your YouTube channel. Thanks to them, some of my videos even show up as top results. Want to give them a try? Check the description below for the link. Today's product is VeGue's karaoke machine. So inside the box, we have the speaker itself, we have a remote, we have the charging cable, which is a 2-prong. And let me go and show you the other end of that, just so you can get an idea. We have a 3.5 aux cable as well. It came with 2 mics. As you can see, one side has a red end, and the other one I still have in its packing, but it has a black end. And it came with a manual in many, many languages. So I'll start by going over some general info, then getting into my thoughts on it with a final pros and cons list. So this large speaker has a 4 to 10 hour use time. You can use it as a speaker or a karaoke machine. It has LED lights. You can adjust the bass, the treble, and echo. It has a strap for carrying it, as you can see on top. Weighs about 11 pounds. The dimensions are 19 inches by 8.7 by 8.7 inches. 6.5 inch woofer and 3 inch dual tweeter. 200 watt power. The mics work up to 32 to 35 feet. And keep in mind that it does not come with any batteries, but I'll go over which batteries you need for it as we go through this review. All right, so let's start off by going over what we have right in front of us. Keep in mind, a lot of the functions I'll be going over, you can also do with the remote. If you need to, you can just pause real quick to see what buttons the remote has, but it is a pretty self-explanatory remote. The only thing that you might be surprised about is that you can control the LED modes with the remote as well. But like I said, you can do pretty much all these functions with the speaker itself as well. So let's go over what we have here. So right here is just the volume button. It is very smooth. So let's start with down here though. So at the bottom, you can see the different ports. So the first one we have right here is going to be for power. Then we have a TF slot or a micro SD slot, USB. Right here we have a guitar slot, a mic, and an aux in. And keep in mind, this mic slot is only if you want to connect an extra mic into this. Otherwise, the 2 that it comes with are wireless, so you don't need to worry about that. At the top now, we have a bunch of buttons. We have the menu button, we have the karaoke mode, we have a recording button, the power button, which you need to long press, everything else is short press. Then if we go over to up here, we have the input, so you'd want to use this to switch between Bluetooth, line, TF, and so on. Then we have a previous song, next song, and then play and pause. And just a reminder again, these are all short presses to use their function, except for the power button, which you have to hold to turn on. And then at the top, we also have our LED screen. We have a nice big strap for carrying this thing, since it is 11 pounds, which isn't really that much, especially when you're using a strap. It'll be very easy to carry around. Speaker volume comes out from the top, from the front, and then I'm just gonna try to turn this a little bit. Then we have the 2 LEDs down here. I'm gonna turn it once more. Then we have little stands pretty much, so that way when you place it down, it won't move around and it'll keep its balance. Then on the back, there isn't really anything to see, but I'll go ahead and turn it around. As you can see, it is the rest of the speaker. The bottom doesn't have any volume coming out of it. And then here is a side view of the grill as well, and just the logo. And I'll go ahead and turn it on real quick and show you what it looks like when it is turned on. So now it's turned on. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my light. So you can see it does light up around the grill as well as on the logo. As far as I can tell, you cannot turn off this lighting. The only lighting you can really mess with is on the very front. But let me show you the other side as well. So here we have, it does the lighting effect on both sides, which I really like that they made it to where the logo lights up as well as the grill, what's behind the grill. So I'll go ahead and turn it to the front now. And as you can see, we do have some LED lighting coming out from the bottom. I'll go ahead and switch it to something a little bit more stable of a light mode. So as you can see, the lighting is coming from down here. The reason I'm showing you right now like this is just because in order to show the rest of the functions, I'll probably need to have the lights on, so it won't be as easy to see these LED lights from my camera. And as I did mention, the LED lights can only be controlled on the front, not on the sides. It has 6 total LEDs as well as LED modes, sorry, as well as just being turned off. So if I was to go to 0, now all of the LEDs are off, and pretty much the modes are just a variation of skipping, breathing mode, and kind of like a smooth transition mode. All right, so you already know I have it turned on. You did not hear any type of sound when it turned on. So I'll go ahead and turn it off, and you can see it doesn't actually make a sound when it turns on and off, even with the volume all the way turned up. So it's turned on. There's no sound coming out of it like this, but the first mode you're gonna notice is going to be the line mode. So this is gonna be your aux pretty much. If you do it again, it makes a sound to let you know that you've gone into Bluetooth mode, which is what I usually use it for. And then if you were to press it one more time, it will go into TF mode if there is a micro SD card placed in. But since I don't have one, it would just repeat back to line mode. But what I'll go ahead and do now is I'll show you the remote one more time. Like I said, it doesn't have any batteries with it, but it uses 2 AAA batteries for the back. And since it is turned on, you can see I can adjust the volume with it. You have to kind of point it at it. So I can't do it with it like this, but if I'm pointing it at it, you can see. You can change the LED modes as I mentioned. So originally I had it off, now I have it on. You won't be able to see it too well. You can see if I have the remote like down here, you might be able to see a little bit of the coloring. But since I have this really bright light next to the speaker, you won't be able to see it too well. And yeah, you can really just control the whole speaker with this remote. But if you don't have batteries right off the bat, like I said, you can control all the functions from here. And I'll go ahead and show you some of the functions that you can mess around with. So if you were to press menu once, you can change the bass up to 6 and -6. So I'll keep it at 0 for now. Again, we'll now bring up treble up to 6 down to -6. Next one is echo up to 11 down to 0. And now if you press it again, it goes to delay mode. Oop. So if you aren't quick about it, it will switch back to the original screen. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to be delaying as you're doing this. If you keep turning the wheel, it'll stay on this mode for a little bit. But anyways, so on DE, you have delay mode. So 0 up to 11 is the max. I'll go ahead and turn that back down. And then we have MV, which is the mic volume. So you can go from 0 all the way up to 32. And I'll just keep it around 20 because I will be showing the mic in use in a bit. Then we have the JT, which is the guitar mode, which can go down to 0 and all the way up to 32. Oop. Let's go ahead and pull that up again. So LE is going to be for LED mode, so you can control the LED modes from this. So 0 again is off. And then it has 6 actual LED modes that you can scroll through. And then if you want, you can also mess with the karaoke modes by pressing the karaoke button. So you would just press this, you wouldn't turn the wheel, and it starts off at 0, then which is original, then 1, which is accompaniment, and 2, which is follow. And then of course we have the record button, which I've already gone into. And for that, you just single press to start recording and long press to play the recording. All right, so now I've got the mic out. I'm gonna have to take the mic off screen when I'm talking through it, so that way it doesn't have this really loud screech sound come up. But pretty much the batteries that you use in it are gonna be 2 AA's for each mic. Again, it doesn't come with batteries, so you're gonna need to make sure to get those. And you just push this up to turn it on, which again, I'm not gonna do right now because it'll make a huge screech sound. So I'm gonna go away a little bit and use it and just talk through it a little bit.
So right now you should be able to hear me through the speaker. It is very loud, but my camera is probably adjusting for the volume. I'm actually talking very, very softly because it is extremely loud right now.
So yeah, that should have given you an idea of how great this mic really is. I don't have the volume like maxed out on the mic either, but it's super loud even when I'm just softly talking. All right, so what I've gone ahead and done is I've connected my speaker to one of my phones so that way we can listen to the audio quality. Some quick things. I personally have not experienced any lag between audio and video on a device. I've tested this on about 6 devices so far, had no issues with the lag or latency at all, which is really important because that can be an issue that I've noticed with a lot of Bluetooth speakers. So like I said, I've already connected it and I put the volume here. I'm gonna put it at 1, which is pretty much the lowest other than being mute, and I have the volume on my phone completely maxed out. quick note, when I use this with one of my other devices, if I was to change the volume on my device, it actually did not affect the volume on here unless I was to put it all the way down to 0 on my device. Then it would mute it, but otherwise it didn't actually control it. Meanwhile, on my phone, it does seem to have separate controls. So I can control the volume with my phone as well as with this, and they are completely separate. So I could have this at max and have the volume extreme, like on the lowest possible setting on my phone, and it will be very low, and I can then raise it up slowly with my phone if I wanted to. So that's just something to keep in mind. So what I'll go ahead and do is I will start playing, and I will just raise the volume a little bit because this, like I said, this gets super loud. So I'll just raise the volume a little bit so you can get an idea of the audio quality. Of course, this won't be the best test because of my phone won't be able to, or sorry, my camera won't be able to pick up the audio quality as clear or crisp, but it should give you a pretty decent idea at least. So I'll go ahead and start now.
What's up, this is GM, and before I start, I want to tell you about TubeBuddy. In case you don't know.
Okay, so I just played a little bit right there, and you saw I only had it at 5, and that was already really loud. I couldn't even hear myself. Usually, whenever I do speaker reviews, I like to say now every time I'm raising the volume so you can get an idea of how much my voice is getting drowned out. That way it can kind of compensate for the fact that my camera is adjusting for the volume. But I can't even do that for this because once I hit 5, I'm already drowned out. Like, you cannot hear my voice at all, even though I'm next to my camera. So that should give you an idea. And this goes all the way up to 32, so that is extremely loud. This is perfect for really large gatherings, for group events. If you want to use it outside at a park or something, this would, pretty much anyone could hear this. If they're anywhere, not even really close to you, if they're just within earshot, they'll be able to hear this, no problem. It's such a great speaker to have. All right, time for my final pros and cons list. So some pros include that it is chargeable with a great use time. It's super loud, works as a karaoke PA system as well as a speaker. It has the nice LED light scheme, which you can turn off if you want to save some battery life. It looks awesome with this really nice honeycomb design, and I really like the color scheme as well. And I love that it has multiple ways to play music and a way to connect an extra mic if needed, and that it came with mics that are wireless as well. The only real con I can see is the weight. However, I like that they put a strap so that way it is really easy to carry around with you, and it really doesn't weigh that much when you're using it with the strap. So that's really, really great. Plus, it's pretty compact compared to other karaoke Bluetooth speaker type devices like the ones I've reviewed in the past. So overall, I just think this speaker is perfect, whether it's for using it as a speaker or even a karaoke machine, PA system. Like I said, the uses are limitless. And another nice thing is you can see I have it stationed like sideways, but you can face it up as well because on the sides it does have little grooves to kind of keep it stable. So you don't even need to just lay it straight flat. You could set it up straight too if you need to save space for any reason. That's it for this video. Link to the product is in the description below. If you found the video helpful, I'd love it if you could leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment below as well. Thank you for watching.